Are you customizing your strategy for each client, or you're missing out on the right market opportunities to truly connect with the people that need to know your solution and got to have it yesterday? It's a question most healthcare innovation companies, fintech companies, executives are often not asking themselves enough because everyone is busy doing things. Heavy doing activities are chasing their own tails and chasing the wrong target audience, which means sometimes it's like you are the lion, but you're trying to eat an elephant, or you are doing a lot of things trying to catch the mouse instead of something that's more feasible for your stature. And other times, we're focusing on making the brilliant product even more brilliant. Yes, customer satisfaction is crucial. However, even if you are in revenue of currently doing, but if that channel is start to tapped out, you have to think about what are the right channel, the right avatar to go after, which means there's a lot of regulations and internal drive for these new channels you might or might not know or could not find the right answer. Therefore, those are not the right people to go after. So the real danger here lies not in having a mediocre product, but aim your marketing effort in the wrong direction. So let's dive into today's episode on the crucial challenges you need to overcome and truly succeed in this complex industry. Welcome to Provider's Edge, the podcast that helps healthcare entrepreneurs and innovators break down barriers and control their business, life, and future with valuable action steps. With me, your host, Sabrina Runbeck, a recovered clinician and a business deal catalyst. Let's rewrite the rules and create a positive social impact while increasing your profitability. Here is your wake-up call, understanding the real problem. So recently, I had an eye-opening conversation with two mental health leaders who, one, has been partnered with a friend and created a very engaging game from an app format that they have a large client user base and is truly in revenue. Now is thinking about, is this application have what's needed to expand into other marketplace, or it doesn't truly have the healthcare application that they want it to be? And the other one is a early detection tool, and it's also app-based to see if dementia and other mental health disorders can be detected earlier. And as we are moving toward more preventative medicine, the proactive way instead of reactive way, there are insurance reimbursements to support these value-based initiatives. So let's highlight the hidden challenges from each of these executives from the two companies. So our case study number one for the mental health game app, they have a great, fun, engaging way to work through a problem. The mission is getting through different activities and speaking with a clinician avatar on the app as well as communities within it. And it's to create that healthy engagement, prevent loneliness, isolation, awesome things. And as I said, they have been in revenue with a large database and able to collect surveys through their app users. And they definitely excited about the potential to break into pharmaceutical market and leveraging their extensive database for clinical trials. That is definitely an impressive goal to hit. However, they did not consider the complexity of controlling confounding variables when you only have a survey-based tool. Because when there isn't other measurements of indications such as biomarkers or other indication to say there's a proven way to improve mental health, and just having surveys, then it's more subjective because all the confounding variables on other people's conditions, socioeconomics, and other disease that they have to manage. And you would need to screen out a lot of people whenever you do conduct a survey. This means they would need to struggle to really figure out the right conversation and right questions to ask before people get lost in interest and don't finish the survey. And in clinical trials, researchers need to ask numerous additional questions, which could not be a best user case. And this limitation made their data less valuable to pharmaceutical researchers. And on top of that, they hadn't grasped the multiple layer of regulation they need to navigate across various departments in pharmaceutical industry. And despite of just wanting to talk to many other pharmacists or leaders in pharma and individual, even insurance plan for that matters, but having the conversation, not asking the right question, or even getting initial interest, it doesn't truly mean they are concrete enough to get a yes for that definitive buy-in. So this oversight meant they're investing time, energy, and resources in the market channel that isn't well suited for their product. Now let's talk about the second one, the early dementia detection tool. That definitely is something that many other companies in the current era, the past few years, especially due to COVID, were a lot more intentional about our mental well-being. And with technologies to train, even with AR storytelling way of seeing how dementia patients actually see themselves, and so we can become empathetic toward them and caregivers to become easier to take care of them. But we also actually, the first step is knowing who are these patients with Alzheimer's and dementia, so we capture them earlier, then the treatment will help to slow down the disease and not wait to the moderate and late stages. Great mission in what they're trying to do. On the surface, it seems like a dream scenario, especially patients didn't have to pay for the service since Medicare, Medicaid is picking up and promoting based on the value-based care models, and family members are able to get a better understanding of their elderly parents and able to act more proactively to provide them care. And then on top of that, clinicians can bill for it. However, this company also faced unexpected challenges, or perhaps it's expected, is that the integration of existing workflow. When we don't have a solution that's already part of each individual's end user's workflow, means what you do all the time, then you have to make them change their routine behavior. And that's tough. So any solution that's built on the app and try to adapt without knowing it's already can be as part of their own existing patient intake from those hospitals, practices, clinic organization, then it is hard because now you have to have a separate system to log in, which costs these staff more time and they have to remember to do it. And also, because there's such a high turnover in the healthcare space, it will also be difficult for these staff to know how to do it correctly. So despite the potential benefit, these tools wasn't being utilized as effective as it could be, mainly because the implementation challenges and how much value these organizations will place on a detection tool versus any other innovation that could give them a lot higher ROI. These conversations, or a wake-up call for all of us in healthcare, is not just about having the best idea. It's about understanding where and how these ideas fit into a specific framework of organizations that you are targeting. So let's break down the 4 challenges that every single innovative leaders and executives need to pay attention to in the healthcare and wellness space. Number 1, organizational regulation goes beyond general government regulation and rules. Hospital organizations often have their own regulatory bodies and a lot more individual preferences beyond the general governmental rules that you can find in public. And that made things even more complex and can catch many innovators off guard. So as the healthcare organization have their own institute review board, their own CTO is the one who see possibility and interact, but they also needed to go through multiple layers to get things approved before any new solutions can be implemented. So we also have to think about what are the specific cybersecurity requirements beyond what we know about HIPAA for you to integrate your solution into their existing workflow, their EHR system. And also, what are some of the encrypted standards, data storage that you might have to consider? And some organizations have strict policies on integrating third-party softwares with their existing EHR. So for mental health applications, for the game developer, for example, if they are going after a larger organization or pharma, then even for us in the experience of creating content, education materials, that even need to get multiple layers of approval to how you format certain wording. And therefore, it's even more tougher when you are creating certain survey and implement in your own platform. And therefore, they're not really going to be a great target client to go after, because any project will take way too long and way too much time and effort and cost to implement. And despite having a large database, which is a traction point, but when things have become a lot more difficult, a lot more people and layer of involvement, then it seems to be less favorable. And it can also seem like not well equipped to navigate the multiple layers of regulation across various departments. And therefore, it can be said of such an interesting concept, but pass. Knowing these hurdles upfront can help save these innovators a lot of time, energy, and money, and not going after the wrong market channels. As noted in a recent study, many digital health startups struggle with updated regulation that weren't designed for modern technology, landing to higher failure rate. That was found in MedCity News, a June article published in 2024 on how regulatory ambiguity is impeding healthcare innovation. This regulatory ambiguity is a significant challenge for any fintech and healthcare tech innovators to prepare to face. And how are you tackling and understanding the regulatory bodies in each of the organizations that you're going after? Number 2 challenge is aligning the operational restrictions and patient care protocols. Your product might solve a problem, but does it fit within the organization's operational framework and specific patient care protocols. Reason being, healthcare providers might have specific clinical pathways or treatment protocols, and sometimes even from the same department, everyone has a preference. And technically, everyone is right because that's their patient and that's their rule. Makes things even more complex. For a solution to feel like it's seamlessly integrated into a hospital system or a physician organization, and that is going to take some specific maneuver and multiple open conversation, which means you have to understand, are these communities have limitations on the type of device that they can use to integrate into the department? Perhaps they can not use Bluetooth-based devices. They have to use cellular cards, and perhaps some areas don't even have any cellular signals. For all of us who have a clinical background, you know how it is. Some corner of the hospital, you cannot get to talk to anyone. So if these devices are dependent on Bluetooth or cellular, then they might not be working. And if there are home-based remote monitoring system, are these patients knowing how to connect their Bluetooth, or is the cellular signal is strong enough at their home? And some staffing models to shift on training, understanding how to conduct these apps, tools to use it correctly. Otherwise, if they're not conducted correctly, then it's not accurate for us clinicians or for patients' benefit. And if they are not able to capture these data, or patients not using it, or staff member are not implementing this, that again is not helpful, even though you're trying to set everything up in those practices. So early stage, for example, the early dementia detection app face these challenges heads on, despite of some practices already have it, and they just saying, we're too busy, we have not been screening our patients. But they are paying a fee to have these things set up, versus other practices are actively screening their patients, but the organizations are not necessarily paying back their clinicians for all these activities that they're being billed for. Then of course there's a lack of self-initiative to want to continue working on that because there are no clear ROI for both ways. So think about how you're leveraging insurance reimbursement and also the staff incentive for them to actually do it outside of their day-to-day routine, and even is something that you embedded into the EHR system where they don't have to log into a separate portal. But why do they want to continue doing that? Right? There is a disruption in workflow of any sort, which means staff is going to forget about it, or new employee weren't trained properly on using it. Then you decrease the actually usage of these solutions. And now, challenge number 3, understanding internal standard and restrictions. To create an effective solution, you need to deeply understand your client's internal landscape and craft solutions not only comply, but actually serve their needs effectively. And many healthcare organizations and groups have preferred vendor list or existing contract that can influence technology adoption or decision. Means if they're pretty busy on one project, perhaps they don't have any focus to think about what you have going on. And even they have the manpower to do it, then they have to think about what's the true ROI in that. Means any system is still a business. How are you telling them the amount of money, energy, and effort they put in is giving them 100 times of output that they can get out, and in what area? Even for us, we believe impact is measured in 12 different ways. Financial output, the numerical ones are easiest to demonstrate. However, it's just 1 out of 12. And return on investment is not, again, on the numerical number, it's everything, right? It's how easy is it for the whole team, how much effort you put in to give you that better result. So some hospitals definitely have specific requirements for staff training on technology, which can impact the implementation timeline. And that also means not only these mental health companies have these type of issue, we talked about many other training facilities as well, is when they have a device, who's training the people to use it correctly? And when there is a specific module or guideline to train our staff, that is great. We can all write SOPs, but who's actually leading the training session? Is that these internal staffing from these hospital or organization, or you as a company providing these? And when they have turnarounds, who's again reaching out to these newer hires to make sure they're on top of what they need to do, besides all the other things they have to train for their day-to-day job. And internal IT department often have their own standard or software development, testing, deployment that external vendors must adhere to. For the early dementia app, while valuable, if you don't align with many hospitals' primary revenue sources, it won't actually being able to deploy it. Right? They will be focused more energy on other solutions. So large physician organizations often prioritize solutions for their departments like cardiology, orthopedics, radiology. A tool for primary care and internal medicine, despite its importance, might not match their primary goal due to low return on investment. As healthcare consultant Jillian Wood points out, understanding the regulatory landscape is crucial for executives to ensure compliance and strategic alignment. And she pointed that out at a linking article about navigating the healthcare regulatory landscape. This understanding extends beyond governmental regulation to include the specific operational standard of each healthcare organization. Number 4 challenge, matching specific workflow and pain point. Even groundbreaking solutions can struggle if they don't align within the specific need of a workflow of individual clinician practices. Detecting mental health diseases is not groundbreaking, but how we detect in the early stage and easy to do, that can be. Even it can be the most enticing way to do it, we still have to think about different specialties within an organization themselves. If that's not what they want to focus on, if that's not where their money is going, and if technology is not something that actually care about for the departments you wanted to connect with, that also means you're not gonna get selected. Stop wasting your time and energy in those areas. Find new marketing channels. So for example, emergency department and outpatient clinic going to be run differently than your surgical departments and procedure-focused departments. So knowing where you are, and perhaps the going after royal rule, perhaps going after these smaller communities that are away from larger cities that don't have much solution is actually what you're going to look more favorable and often seem more unique to have a tailored solution. And going after these telemedicine or online platforms that people are actively and be more proactive about screening and wellness type of organizations will more likely to want to have a screening solution on early detection of dementia, as well as a fun app that can help improve their moves and their conditions. So think outside the box, not just the typical large organization, because that seems like you're trying to buy off the elephant, and the elephant is not even the right one who even care about having a conversation with you. And when you're thinking about these smaller community hospital versus academic centers can also have different challenges and requirements. And same thing if you're going after government hospital like the VA versus a nonprofit hospital. Again, a lot more different regulations where you have to showcase your solutions in certain type of case studies before they will trust you. Both mental health game app and early detection app can find a easier adoption with organizations that are already leveraging simple technologies for screening, remote patient engagement, or online telemedicine resources. So meet people where they already are and also find out where are these solutions can be seen as favorable because they're not distracted by these larger implementations where you're not going after these huge hospitals in major cities that are bombarded with pitches every day. If a setting already lack tech platform, like some independent private practice that don't even have a EHR, you probably wouldn't want to target them. And that should be immediately eliminated because it takes them probably too long to even think about using an app for their staff when they're still on paper charting. Make sure when you're targeting and screening the people that you wanted to connect with, you're not making more work for yourself. All right, now that we talked about the 4 challenges that every executive needed to pay attention to when you are developing, building, and really outreaching to find the right marketing channel. Now let's talk about what you are here about, the strategies for success to overcome these challenges. All right, and then we have labeled them as 1 to 8. Number 1, conduct thorough research and understand the specific regulations and operational standard for each organization, even the private practice that you're reaching out to, not just the regular local and state regulations that you have to understand. As noted by healthcare compliance expert, executives should familiar themselves with state, federal, and industry-specific regulation to ensure compliance and strategic alignment, as published in a comprehensive guide of regulatory changes by EverCheck. Number 2, building strong relationship and engage with compliances officers and key stakeholders within each organization, which means it does take time. And you need to be intentional about these specific requirements that they are looking for. And sometimes it's hard to find unless you have a conversation with them. And building a relationship is very crucial for these specific needs that they're not publicly sharing. Number 3, customize your approach, tailor your compliance strategies, and produce features to meet the specific need of each organization, because one size fits all does not fit the healthcare industry. However, that doesn't mean you are not going to have nothing to show. What I mean is you do have to have a standard operation workflow that can be easily trained and adapted into those organizations. In your conversation, building relationship with them, you might find minor things need to be tweeted and then you can quickly change it. But that doesn't mean you have to start from square one from every single project that you engage with. That will take you too much time and energy and delay your implementation plans. Number 4, leverage technology. Use compliance management tools to track and adapt to various regulations across different organizations effectively. As healthcare technology expert Dr. Zhang, implementing compliance software and digital tools can streamline processes, manage documentation, and facilitate regulatory updates. Number 5, prioritize continuous education regularly constantly update your team on the specific compliance and requirement of each organization you collaborate with. This ongoing education can ensure that your entire team align with the latest regulation required and the organizational needs. In return, this organization is going to see you as someone who's proactive in creating better changes. Number 6, focus on integration ensures your solution can seamlessly integrate with existing system and workflow. As we saw with the early dementia detection app, even a valuable tool can fail if it's disrupting established workflow. Number 7, understand the financial landscape. Knowing where the money flows within a organization means you understand their focus of what they wanted to implement and offer solutions specific targeting those areas. As demonstrated by both case studies, understanding the financial priority of the targeting organization is crucial for positioning your product effectively as the solution and will definitely get them to the goals they wanted to get. Number 8, assessing your company's impact and growth potential against your competitors. When you understand where you're standing, you can better leverage your strength and improve on your weaknesses to create tailored actions for growth. One of the free resources we have is called the Impact Quotient Quiz. Go to impactquotientquiz.com to find out your impact scale across 12 domains of business. Now the real work begins. Your brilliant solution is just the starting point. To truly seen as the leader in health tech, digital health, and fed tech, you need to tailor your product to each organization that you partner with, which means you understand their unique structure, priority, and your client's avatar very deeply on what keeps them up at night, what is their short-term and long-term goals. And that requires some research. And that's something we always focus on first with any of our clients, is creating that 10-page document on the client's avatar, truly have a playbook that no matter what you do, you go back to those playbook to really study what their need. And navigate these regulatory issues is complex. And therefore, as we mentioned, out of a successful strategy is building relationship, having these conversations, because otherwise you don't know what they're looking for. Just like you're going after funding, is yes, you have to do your homework before connecting with them, so at least you know they care about your niche. Some investors only care about vision, only dental, only women's health, and some only support women founders, or they are only biopharm. If you don't even know their niche enough to apply or even what stage of funding, then you're just playing the numbers game and actually seeing a spam. And you then can position your product where the money flows within the healthcare and clinician organization when you are very much understanding their goals, their struggle, and their desires at the end of the day. So remember, changes in healthcare require persistence. Nothing can be done overnight, but within the right strategy, you can turn regulatory challenges into opportunities for innovation and growth. As healthcare innovation expert Dr. Eric Topol noted, the regulation of AI in healthcare presents unique challenges such as ensuring data quality and managing evolving algorithms. Innovators must address these issues, maintain trust and compliance while we are flooded with what could be possible. So let's go back to this question. Are you fighting the right battle in your innovative journey? Are you customizing your strategy for each client? Or are you missing on market opportunities? Share your experience and strategies with us in the comment below, wherever you're listening or watching this episode. How are you aligning your innovation with your client's specific need? What challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them? Let's continue this important conversation and push the boundary of healthcare innovation together. Make sure to tag me, Sabrina Runbeck, whether you are commenting on the platform you're sitting or writing a short reflection on LinkedIn. The future of healthcare depends on the innovators and leaders like you who are willing to navigate these difficulties and challenges, but don't see them as challenges, as a next exciting push needed for you to stand out. Because if things are too easy, are they actually worth fighting for? Now, if you guys care to explore how we put everything together, go to postpointpass.com/playbook to watch our playbook. Thank you for tuning in to Provider's Edge podcast. We hope you enjoy our latest episode and found the insights and tips helpful. We'd love to hear your feedback on the show and learn what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. So please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform and let us know what you think. Your feedback is essential to help us improve the show and provide you with the content you need to take your healthcare business to the next level. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.